I started the Burn Children Recovery Foundation in 1989 after learning that 280,000 children were burned in America. It's a real thing, and you may not understand that burns may not be a big thing in your life, but if you don't see burn survivors in public, that's the problem.
I didn't realize that a child being burned meant that they lost their fingers, or they lost their ears, or they lost their toes, or their entire body would basically be a big scar.
And some kid will call them a monster. They're not a monster, they're just a kid that's been through a horrible experience.
There's nothing wrong with them. They're still the same exact person on the inside.
And they just want what every other kid wants, which is to be loved and accepted.
Let me give you some insight of a burned child returning to society. He comes home from the hospital scarred. He feels kind of lost. It's gone. It's missing. And where do you go from there? You know, so they come home. They're talking about going to school. Now think about that. Think about going to school with scars on you. How fearful that would be. The anxieties start as soon as you wake up in the morning. As you approach that door to walk out, anxieties get worse because you're not clear of what kind of abuse you're going to get today. Because as a burn survivor, you know you're going to get some kind of abuse, neglect, negative response to your scars. So you walk out the door with fear, and it's a battle. It's a battle just to get on that bus. It's a battle to ignore the giggles. It's a battle to ignore the name calling down the hallways. It's a battle, and it's something that you may not perceive of a burn survivor's struggles, but this is its struggles. And as soon as they come home and shut the door, they can go, because now they feel safe with their family. But you know what? Tomorrow morning they got to start again. It's not easy, because being bullied and being rejected from society is something that will hurt probably for the rest of their lives. You know, I was burned in 1967 from a fire gasoline explosion. I went through 64 surgeries, went back to school, endured a lot of the bullying, antisocial rejections. But for some reason, I just knew that I was preparing for something in my life. You know, we set up the Burn Children Recovery Foundation based on my history from my recovery. School clothing, pride, rebuilding, self-esteem. I wanted to go back and do activities outside the house, baseball, basketball. You know, it was difficult to try to recover from injuries. But the process of getting them back to school and staying in school and living a full life is really the job of the Burn Children Recovery Foundation.
We're not just helping their burn child, we're helping the whole family. And I don't think very many people do that. They don't realize it's not just the burn child that's suffering, it's the whole family.
The Burn Children Recovery Foundation means the world to us. We wouldn't be able to do so many things without them.
It just means the world to know that I have them to lean on, that my kid has them to lean on.
Many families, after their children first are burned and leave the hospital, all their insurance has been used up, and they are just lost. There's a lot of parents sleeping in cars, eating out of ice chests. So this is what we provide for the families. We provide money for that, transportation costs, for the lodging, for the meals for the families while they're in the hospitals. It's very, very important.
Hobby costs are real important. We want the kids to go back to what they love doing. We want them to still love life and so we help, you know, like we'll help pay for their hobbies like music or dance or cheer, or, you know, if it's drawing.
So we ask them what do they enjoy doing, arts, crafts, ride a bike, you know, whatever it takes to get them outside that house, this funding is used for that.
It's great to know that what we do, helping them through life and teaching them the skills they need, they're living full productive lives in being out there in public and not having any more issues, and that's what we strive for.
You know, the Burn Children Recovery Foundation, once again, was started with a thought of a camp. But we realized that we had to be much more than a camp. The camp is all about bringing burn survivors together so they can feel part and not feel alone.
Camp means everything. Camp means family. You know, Camp Phoenix is a family. There's just no other two ways about it. We make a connection with every single child that comes there.
When they get to come to Camp Phoenix, they get to just be kids around other kids. And I think that's what's so important about it. So the stigma of the scars or the self-consciousness about the scars just fades away.
The camp itself is a youth outreach that does more than just have fun. It teaches the kids self-respect, self-confidence, and how to love themselves despite what the outside looks like. That in itself is something that as a parent you can teach your kids, but they don't really understand until they see it in practice from other people just like them.
Probably within a couple hours, they turn into kids again, which is really a miracle thing to watch. To see a shut down soul recover in just a short amount of time because they're around others like them. A lot of the staff and counselors are burn survivors themselves.
And so, you know, if we were to put a dollar sign on each kid and say, this is how much we have this year, we can only take this many kids, what I would love is to see that we don't have to do anything like that with the foundation, that we can just say, any child who needs us, we can bring you in.
The true power of camp is they realize they're not alone. And we bring a lot of volunteers and that come to the camp. And so throughout the week, there's hundreds of people that come in their lives and accept them unconditionally. This changes their process about how they feel they're accepted in society.
That 1 week alone is what gets these kids through, where they can look forward to the following year and the friends that they've made throughout the country that they stay in contact with all year long, because there's something about being in a place where you feel safe and you feel accepted and you feel loved. That's what camp does.
Hope to see you at camp.
I don't care if you're a burn survivor or not. What you see in the mirror is not who you are. The person who you are is inside your body. Sometimes this body you're born with diseases, with deformities. So sometimes in life you get in accidents and things are going to happen to you. But as long as you keep that core structure inside yourself whole and realize that you're a person and a spirit, you'll do better in life. You really will. So, you know, we teach the kids that don't look in the mirror and perceive yourself with the scars. You know, love yourself from inside. We hope that you hear the cries of our kids and realize that you don't see burn survivors in public, and that's what the problem is. We need your help. We can't do it alone. These kids cannot return to school without funding. They need their clothing, they need the surgeries, they need the medical care, and also the counseling. They need to come to camp in Phoenix House. They need to understand what it is to accept themselves, because it's, as you all know, it's hard to accept yourself, no matter if you're burned or not. But you put scars on your face and your hands and try to accept yourself. It's a difficult thing. But that's what the Burn Children Recovery Foundation was founded, to make sure that these kids get a full and clear chance to return to full life, in which we're all entitled to, right?